Hello there everyone, my name is Pam and you may have read some of my stories on beautsak.com. A variety of products ranging from skincare, hair care, perfume, makeup. Well, today we are trying something new. It is a video vlog, and as we're speaking right now I'm blushing. I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest. But we've chosen a few items today specific to actual skincare, and I have a lovely model, Juris, who will be here with us today sort of showing us how to use the products. We've chosen a few items from DDF, skincare line, as well as the RX Skin Therapy and Dr. Brandt. A basic skincare regimen. I'm hoping that everybody is washing their face at night, maybe a quick wake me up in the morning as well, but really should be a cleanser. Toner, in my humble opinion, is optional. I like a toner. We should do a nice exfoliation in there, as light as it is. I like to do one every other night. On the alternating nights, I like to incorporate a retinol, which we'll show you here today. I also, in the evenings, I like a nice moisturizer, and during the day, of course, a nice sunscreen. I always like to throw in a treatment serum if your other items in that skincare regimen are not covering that, such as antioxidants or any other anti-aging ingredients, peptides, etc. And an eye cream. Today we are starting with the DDF Brightening Cleanser. This has also some alpha hydroxys in it. Alpha hydroxys are great for just stimulating the cell turnover, exfoliating the surface layers of the surface layers of the skin, meaning the dead skin cells, to give you that overall brightening effect. Cleansing your skin should take no more than about a minute in length. So we'll start now. Put a little bit on. And you really want to focus. You don't need that much, maybe not even as much as I just poured onto her hand. You really don't need that much cleanser. Add a little bit of water. Focus, of course, on your trouble spots. My trouble spots happen to be my T-zone. I think that's probably the case with most everybody. Give yourself a good cleanse right around the eyes. Make sure you're just kind of patting it in there. You never really want to pull the skin around the eyes. You never want to drag the skin down, so up if you can. Make sure you're getting under your neck. I always like to give a little on the ears as well. Not in the ears, just on the earlobes usually. And then a good rinse. I would use something like this in the evening, and then during the morning routine do something a little softer for the skin. Not that this isn't, but it does have, again, your alpha hydroxys, and I want to get all my makeup off as I can from the day, the dirt, the grime, the oils. During the day I would use something a little milkier, a little creamier for my shower. How's it feel?
Feels good. I have a nice slip and slide to it. It's really nice. Not too foamy, so it's really easy to clean off too.
Nice. And then when you're drying your skin, again, you never want to drag the skin with a towel. I like to just use a towel to kind of dab it dry, or pat it dry rather. And then when my skin, especially during the winter months, when my skin is still slightly damp, we'll say, then start using my other products, because you want to add a little extra absorption power, if you will. And when your skin is completely dry, especially in the winter, I mean, it's already dry outside. We just want to add as much moisture back to your skin as possible, or keep it in there as much as possible, because we don't want to break down that barrier. The next one that we are going to, and while I'm thinking about it, when you're using skincare, I actually get this question a lot from clients that we work with here. In what order should I use my skincare regimen? And the simplest way to describe it is thinnest to thickest consistency. So from here, I would actually use, now this is the Dr. Brandt Laser Appeal, and I've actually written about this a couple of times because I really do like it. It's a blend of a glycolic and a lactic. Lactic is great for hydration as well as glycolic, but lactic acid is a softer alpha hydroxy, if you will. So it's good for even more sensitive skin types. This serum, you would just use a cotton ball and apply this all over your skin. Do not get anywhere near your lips or close to the eyes, and just leave it on for 5 minutes and then rinse it off. But it gives you a really nice exfoliation without having to use a topical scrub. And really, ideally, you do want to exfoliate your skin, because all those lotions and potions and those great ingredients that you're purchasing, you want them to be able to penetrate past all those dead piled up skin cells and that solidified oil. You want to keep your pores as clear as possible. Here's another question I often get: how do I shrink my pores? Really, you can't really shrink the pores, but you can keep them as clean as possible so that they look smaller. If you think of like a rubber band, and the more you stretch it out, it just stays that way. It's kind of the way that your pores behave. You can, with the solidified oil and the dead skin cells, they just stretch them throughout our years. And that's why we get those bigger pores. But if you clean them, you keep them as clean as possible, they're going to appear smaller. So that's my 2 cents, but laser appeal, wonderful, wonderful stuff. I think that's why I wrote twice about it.
Another thing on the exfoliation, what's really important to know is that you don't want to use a granule too big. So what's really nice is a lot of times the companies will put a little glycolic or alpha hydroxy acid in a product. That will suffice instead of using a granule. Sometimes some skins can't handle that. So it's really nice to be able to incorporate something a little softer, a little more gentle as well. Side note.
When I am finished with my exfoliant, and again I use an exfoliant like that every other night, I will always use a serum. And I wish I had my bottle, because I actually like this so much. It is one of my holy grail products now. It's by RX Skin Therapy, and beautsak.com, excuse me, just started selling this, I don't know, maybe like a month or so ago. Maybe it's been only, it's a short amount of time, but I'm so glad that she did. I've been able to get samples of it, and I hoard them, I don't share them, and I finally broke down and I bought a bottle of it. And it has some wonderful ingredients in it, including niacinamide, which is your vitamin B, which helps regulate the oil in the pores. And again, I get rather oily, and I do have acne-prone skin even in my 40s. Yikes. But it has also hydrating ingredients, anti-aging, like your peptides, but it has very few ingredients. I think this carries only about 6 ingredients in it, which I just love. It slips and glides right on the skin, it soaks right in. It's almost like a watery texture. And when you're working with serums, as just a general rule of thought or a rule of application, you only need about the size of a peanut to cover your face. You might need a little bit more here and there, but this is definitely more like the size of a peanut. Pour it on my fingers, dab it on my eyes, on my forehead, and then surround the rest of my face with it. I love this stuff.
So Pam, when would you use this?
I use this morning and night. And so at night I would use this after the exfoliation, because I've applied it, I have rinsed it off, and now my skin is nice and prepped for the yummies. I call all the anti-aging ingredients the yummies. So this is what I would use following my exfoliation. And it's going to stay right there for a second. I follow, now if I'm not using the exfoliation, again, I alternate my nights with the retinol, and retinol is great for healthy cell replication. It's kind of like the leader of the pack, if you will, down there telling other cells how to grow into healthy cells. So that's one of the reasons I really love retinol. It's also really good for regulating melanin production. It's also really great for, again, regulating oil in the pores. It's got a lot of great benefits, retinol. I mean, that's why you see it actually, doctors or dermatologists prescribing this for acne-prone skin as well as for anti-aging. And you can get this over the counter, and it just, you know, they sell in different percentages. And off the top of my head, I'm sorry, I don't remember what the percentage of this one is, but it is lovely. I'm going to squirt a little bit on Jules' hand. And ideally, it does come out yellow. Ideally, you want to use a retinol in the evenings, because it'll be a little bit more sensitive to the UV rays.
Doesn't smell too amazing, but that's usually what retinols kind of do, because they have a high concentration of you know, the vitamin A, which is what it's derived from. So it doesn't really smell that great, but it's amazing.
Also, another thing with this, because retinol works well or best in a natural pH, You want to let this kind of soak into your skin a little bit before applying another product. The product that I would use right after a retinol is just a nice night cream. Today what we actually have to show you with it is a sunscreen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, and I cannot stress this enough, UV protection is a must in any skincare regimen. I mean, this is when, in general, what kind of anti-aging ingredient or what kind of anti-aging product should I be using to help ward off those fine lines? An SPF, because if you're not using an SPF, anything else you do, it really doesn't matter. I think it's about 85% of all aging of the skin comes from the UV rays. You've got your UVB rays, which you think of burning when you go out and get those sunburns. Those are your shorter rays or wavelengths. If you think of the UVA rays, those are your aging rays, and those can penetrate glass. They can penetrate, as you're driving in the car, as you're sitting in your office, and it doesn't take long. I think. I don't know, even if you're walking to your mailbox, even if you're not doing much, if you're just sitting inside but you happen to be around a window, use an SPF. And you can get different, a lot of people, they'll say, I don't like the texture of it, I don't like, it doesn't sit well under makeup, but they come in a really nice, all over the map with the formulations these days. You can get some that are just incredibly elegant, like this one is, love the jewel, your hand please. For your skin, oh my, this bottle is new, excuse me. As you're using your sunscreen, and I'm going to just keep doing this until we get some. As you're using your sunscreen, you should use about a half a teaspoon if you don't plan, for your face, thank you. About a half a teaspoon on your face if you don't plan to go out and just be in the sun. So that should suffice for your daily running around. If you're planning on being in the sun for a longer period of time, or that is your goal for the day, for vacation, you're going to use about a full teaspoon on your face. Your body should be about a shot glass worth of sunscreen. Blend it in. Make sure you get the areas of the skin that are more prone. I always load up a little extra on my driving side. I see a lot of hyperpigmentation on the left-hand side. I can tell people do a lot of driving when I see that. How's it feel?
This is great, and especially this one by DDF is amazing because it is oil-free. So someone like me who is prone to acne, they can use it every day. It's amazing. Feels really nice. Smells good too.
So that is it. I think that should be for the daytime. We kind of took you through, well, sort of a mixture of daytime, nighttime. We did load the jewel up on some sunscreen after putting retinol on. If you should use a retinol during the day, make sure that you are using the sunscreen. Back again, though, you should be using sunscreen every single day. And then you can follow with your primers, your makeup, anything else that you want to apply for the day. But if nothing else, sunscreen should top you off. Thanks for checking in.